Hi everybody, this is Elizabeth from Petals and Parchment. Thank you for joining me today. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you've joined me. This is week 8 for the Reflective Rolodex challenge. And before we get started, let's go ahead and grab our candles and light those to set a nice, peaceful, calm environment for ourselves. It smells good. And it's nice to just do something nice for ourselves. So if you've seen my videos before, then you'll know that I like to begin by taking a few deep breaths and trying to clear our minds and get ready for a fun, lighthearted, happy crafting experience. So without further ado, let's jump into that portion. So let's go ahead and do that for just a few moments. Go ahead and close your eyes when you're ready. And take a big deep breath in through your nose and exhale through your mouth, letting all your cares go. Think of something that makes you smile and take a big deep breath in through your nose and exhale all your stress and worries out through your mouth. Feel your toes, wiggle them, and just be happy to be in this present moment. And say thank you for this day. Thank you for this time that you have set aside to pursue something that brings you joy. Take one more big breath in through your nose, relaxing your shoulders. Feel grateful in your heart. And exhale through your mouth. When you're ready, open your eyes and let's get started. Okay, so today we're taking one last look at our February journaling prompts. We're currently in week 4, and this speaks to expanding your circle. And I've already taken a look at the prompts. Feel free to do so and pick one that resonates with you. And you can journal and create based on the prompt that you feel fits your life most closely. Or you can pick one of your own. You obviously don't have to go with any that I've suggested, but I already took a look at these, and I'm going to be focusing on community love this week. So what does being a part of a community mean to you, and how can you contribute? So this one is really important to me, actually. As many of you know, there's these pesky algorithms that contribute to whether or not you show up in someone's feed. So they could really like you and your art, but if people don't comment in the group or like things or share them, then you virtually disappear and your content doesn't get sent out to those people that like you and want to follow you. This is something that I've noticed happening not only in my group, but in other creators groups as well, and those of my friends and design team and everyone that has their own group and social media space deals with this. And you follow all these people because you want to stay up to date on, you know, what they're doing and stay inspired by them, and then the algorithms follow whoever is getting the most interaction in the community. And so a lot of the smaller channels, they don't get as much love because people aren't leaving comments, and sometimes people don't even know that. They just read it and they move on, not realizing how much hitting the like or love button or leaving a simple comment or a thank you can really affect that creator's whole life, and whether their artwork gets pushed out to other people or not. And so being a part of a community to me means that you're making an effort to visit and share and collaborate and contribute in all of the communities that you belong, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram. They're all run by these algorithms. And so to me, being part of a vibrant community means participating, right? Some people are very shy, I understand that. But even just hitting the like button helps tremendously. And for someone like myself who's very nervous to speak in front of others and put themselves out there, it really makes a big difference to know whether you're enjoying the content that we're providing. If you want to see something different, speak up so that your voice can be heard and we can, change things if you're not enjoying the content. So that's one thing that I try to do, is make sure that I'm commenting on those groups that I enjoy the most and really encouraging the people who are brave and share their artwork with everyone, because it's really not easy for everyone to share. I know I feel that way. And so, getting that little bit of encouragement from others helps and goes a long way. One of my design team members, Ashley, we were actually just talking about this morning, and she said that she'll set alarms in her phone to go remind her to check on other groups and to participate and share some love. And I think that's a really great idea. Sometimes we follow so many that it can get a little bit overwhelming. And so to me, being a part of a community really means spreading the love and contributing, telling people that I appreciate the work that they're sharing, because honestly, we all inspire each other so much. And that's what makes this paper crafting community so vibrant and so fun, is just seeing what everybody is contributing and all of the positivity and heartfelt camaraderie that does exist out there. So I would encourage you to also see how you can, help your favorite groups by commenting and just telling them you appreciate their time. So that's what I was thinking of today about community love. And hopefully something in this list of journaling prompts resonated with you, or something that I said stuck out to you. But I really would like to ask for your help if you are finding anything of benefit from this series that I'm doing. If you could like the video or leave a comment, tell me what you do or don't like, that would be super helpful to me, because right now it's pretty quiet and I don't know who's watching, who's enjoying the series. I don't know if you like the relaxation techniques or the mindfulness aspect of it. The whole idea for this project was to be centered around gratitude and mindfulness. How is that sitting with you? Are you enjoying what I'm giving you? Do you wish I would change it up a little bit? I do have some new papers coming out here. I'll release them in a day or two for March, so that you can get a head start on cutting them out. Looking ahead, I decided to include another paper with some mindfulness exercises. So trying to change it up a little bit. I don't know if that's a welcome change or not. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And yeah, that's enough of that. So let's get started. So this is a card that I printed on mixed media paper. So what we're gonna do is some mixed media work today. I'm really trying to get better at my mixed media practice, and there's no better way to get better at it than to practice. So I'm using rice paper, and I got this gigantic rice paper, I think off Amazon a million years ago, but it's 14 by 10 inch, so it's really humongous. So what I do is I cut it to the size of a sheet of printer paper, and then I glued just the edges of the paper using a glue stick so that it wasn't very strong, and then I sent it through my printer so that it printed on the rice paper. I don't think it's thick enough to go through on its own, so that's why I glued it to the printer paper. And I don't end up losing too much of the paper from the edge that I glued. I just tried to do a really light coat. Oh, and it's actually peeling off quite easily, which is a pleasant surprise. So it looks like I'm not gonna lose any of the paper, the rice paper, so that's nice. And then I can just like tea dye this paper or use it again to go through the printer. If you don't have rice paper, that's okay. Another alternative would be to use tissue paper, or you can use the second layer of a napkin. So when you pull the napkin apart, there's that second white layer that you can use. You can, you know, stamp or doodle on it. And then what I'll be doing here is I'm just going to use some of these images and glue them down to my card to sort of make like a background for it. And we could also just start with one of the pre-printed backgrounds if you wanted to do that. I just want to experiment with this technique, and so let's get started. What I'm going to do is use a water brush and sort of go around the design that I want to cut out. I'm going to do this to help me tear it out. So it will follow the water line here. Like so. And then you've got these nice kind of tatty edges. And let's see, what else do I want to use? I'll probably use this pretty leaf design here. And the spots where you rip will glue nicely to the card. So we're sort of building our own background here. Let's see, maybe I'll do one more heart. How about this guy right here? It's such a small canvas that you really don't need that much, but if you did this on a bigger piece, you don't really need that much either. Okay, so what I'm taking is some matte medium. This is a low gloss acrylic matte medium, but if you want, you could also use Collage Page. I'm actually not sure if they make this anymore. I'll have to check. If they do, I'll put it in the description. It's by Eileen's. So I'm not really sure, but I'll look into that. I just have an old bottle of that. You could also use Mod Podge probably, but the matte medium is good for this. So I'm just going to get my brush a little wet here. Here, I'll just use what's on the lid. That should be plenty. So I'm just going to start adhering these pieces to my mini canvas here. Just kind of melts right into it. Tear this down a little bit smaller. I really like this rice paper and I don't use it as often as I would like, so it's a fun excuse to break it out. But like I said, you can just use a napkin. Okay, probably put that right there. Do a little bit more over here. This process was inspired by this artist that I discovered pretty recently that I just fell in love with. Her name's Vicki Papaioannou, I think. Papaioannou. Sorry, Vicki, if I'm mispronouncing your last name. But she just has this really incredible mixed media work that I just fell in love with. And she made it seem so approachable that I wanted to try it. So I'm showing you. I'll link one of her videos down below so that you can see just how incredible her work is for yourself. Okay, so that's the first step, and I'm gonna get this dried and I'll meet you back here. Oh my gosh, so funny. I turned on the blow dryer and all of my cutout pieces went flying everywhere. I think I managed to find them all, but whew, that was intense. Okay, yeah, don't don't blow dry next to your cutout pieces or weigh them down or something. Silly me, silly me. Have you ever done that before? Okay, moving on to the next portion, I'm going to now use some wax paper as just like a little mini palette here and put a little bit of white paint. I'm just using Liquitex Basics gesso. You could use white acrylic paint. You could use anything you want. Any color, it doesn't have to be white, but this just sort of knocks back some of the lines on the rice paper that you just put down. And I think we all just like the look of it. Just tone down some of that color a little bit. I'm using these little sponge brushes from Craft Smart. You could use your finger, sort of rub it in there. You don't want to get rid of everything, you just want to knock it back a little bit. Sometimes your finger just works better than any tool. I think that worked out really well actually. I'm just going to go around the edges a little bit more. Nice and grungy, and I'm going to dry this one more time away from my cutout elements, and then we'll move on to the next stage. Okay, that's nice and dry and nothing blew away. So now I'm going to do some stamping next, and I've got some archival ink, which is waterproof permanent ink from Ranger. And the reason I want to use this is so that the elements that go on top of this don't wash away. So I've got a script stamp here. I haven't used it before, but I'm going to stamp a little bit on my paper first and then stamp it on my project so that it's not super dark. And then I'm just going to get a different stamp that I wanted to use, which is like a postage stamp, and do the same thing, just kind of stamp it on my paper first, then stamp it on my project. And let's see, one more. I think I'll do this one. Just like a little check register or something. But I'm just gonna do it kind of hanging off just to add some interest. There we go. Okay, so that's the next step, and then following that we'll do some stenciling. So I'm going to take my texture paste. You can make this from scratch. I did provide a recipe in a previous video, or you can use this stuff. I really like it. So I'm just gonna do a little bit on one side, and then probably lift that up and do just a little tiny piece over here. I'm gonna go wash my stencil off and my palette knife and dry this, and then I'll meet you back here. Okay, so the next step is to work on your focal point, and so I've gathered just a few pieces here, bits and bobs that I want to try to incorporate in the card. And so based on what I was talking about earlier about being part of this paper crafting community. I've been really sharing my heart and soul in this project, and I hope that I'm at least reaching someone that this is meaningful to. It's really important to me be authentic and vulnerable, and I hope that that's reciprocated and that you can feel the heart that I show up with in everything that I do. So that's why I've chosen this heart and sharing, and this sentiment that vulnerability is the doorway to deeper intimacy. Open it with courage. Every time that I turn on this camera, I have to muster all the courage that I possibly can because it's very uncomfortable for me. So just let me know if I'm doing a good job, please. That's all I ask. Just give me a thumbs up and I'll sleep a little better at night. Okay, that's all I'll say. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here. So what I'm gonna do first is put down a layer of cheesecloth. I think I'm gonna take that back up real quick and put down, this green one goes because of the colors in the rice paper. So let's try that. That's better. Okay, so then I'm gonna put the heart on top of that. I lost the heart again. I dropped it. I was crawling around on the floor, but it turned out it was under my glass mat somehow. It just Houdini'd its way under the glass mat. Crazy. Okay, I found it. I was beginning to think I was not going to be able to use this heart. And sharing my heart. Okay, so here's what we have so far. And the last step after adding a focal point and a sentiment is to doodle a little bit. Some black pen, some white pen, and some probably paint marker, and doodle a little bit just to sort of bring some of these elements out. It doesn't take a lot. Just gonna go around the edge with some black ink. You could also use what is that, water soluble black pencil, or some watercolor pencils, some Neos, whatever you'd like, just to go around and make it kind of look sketchy. There's already a sewing line around here, so I'm just gonna emphasize that a little bit. Be sure to check the Google Drive folder for next month's prompts. I'll be posting that here shortly. Just gonna do a few dots here and there. Switch to my white paint pen. Just doodling a little, adding some interest. I have some of this white paint left over, so I'll probably scoop it back into the bottle, but do some paint flecks here. Okay, I think I'll call that done. Here's my card. Again, this was following Vicki Papaioannou's 7-step mixed media formula. So I hope you've enjoyed this process. Go check out Vicki's video. I'm gonna link that below, and let me know what you think about this series in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!